Conor came out and he gives an apology. Now, let's back up, okay? I'm going to condescend to you guys, and I know you guys are the smart marks and the cheap seats, but I'm going to condescend as though this is the first show you've ever heard in MMA. I got to back up. Conor McGregor in March punched a guy in a bar. Now, the guy keeps getting called an old man, and he is 50 years old. But for some reason, I feel that the victim in this does not then to also be called an old man, which is somehow condescending. I feel like you're double victimizing a victim. But he punched a 50-year-old man in a bar. Okay, great. This happened in March. Whatever happened from a legal or a civil standpoint, or even two men that were able to work things out with an apology, I don't know, but it did get handled. That much I do know. The video of this assault, which was nothing short of assault, and it was a crime, and it was a bad action, but just came out this week. So, into last week, rather. Conor goes on ESPN with Ariel, and Conor just gives an apology. Man, that was a scumbag move. I am sorry. I'm ashamed of that. I found the guy. I made it right with the guy. No excuses. Okay, cool. So now what do you have to do? A guy comes out and gives an apology. Now what do we all have to do? Well, we have to be dirtbags right back and then break down his apology. So let's break down the apology. Look, guys, the only thing in an apology that matters, it's not the words. It's one thing. Was that sincere? That is all you will be judged on in the apology. You'll never be judged for how you dressed or how you looked or you carried yourself or the words that you used. You'll only be, did he mean it? Did somebody tell him to say? You'll see guys do an apology. They'll read something from a PR person, and I'm not going to take any questions, and they'll leave the stage. For some reason, that works, but boy, does that ever lack sincerity. They're not even your words. Even if they were your words, you didn't even memorize. Speak from the heart. So, point I'm trying to make, it matters. The sincerity matters, and you got to break down a guy's breakdown of his own apology. Okay. I only got one problem with it. And the problem was, were you sorry or were you sorry that you got caught? And the reason I say that, it happened in March. The apology didn't come out until the video came out. That takes away some sincerity. Now it turns into, I'm not sorry. I'm sorry I got caught. I'm sorry the world stuff. If I was sorry, I would have said something in March right after I did it. Now I'm sorry that I look bad and I got to come out and do some PR. Okay. Here's another point, though. When you're dealing with Conor McGregor, Conor has put himself in a unique spot for him. One thing that Conor has always had is an opponent. And he usually was punching upward, which in politics is always better. You're the underdog trying to climb up. That's always something that the everyman can get behind. And you can build a real fan base there. Once you get on top, people just want to see you get brought down. And you get up there and you're looking around going, wait, isn't everybody happy? I had so many fans who were helping me get it. Now they're all gone. Where'd they go? Well, it's just not what people want. People don't want a champion. They want to know who's going to be the next champion. That's just a reality. You have to understand the rules. But when Conor finally got on top, now he's in a unique spot of, who am I going to fight? He's always come from a place of some kind of personal animosity. Whether it was against Jose Aldo because Jose Aldo had something he wanted and he was envious and fine, that's still personal. Whether it was over in boxing with Floyd because he thought that boxing was an overrated sport and Floyd was too small and too old. Fine, it's still personal. Every fight that he's gone out and contested has come from some kind of an angle like that. He started something with Nate Diaz. Nate fired back. Nate stood up to now they got to go and redo it. But there was always a great story, and Conor is now in a situation where it seems as though every pay-per-view, as soon as it concludes, whoever wins in the main event, Conor then calls them out. At some point, you got to quit taking the bait. Because it's nothing more than bait. And every time a guy gets excited that Conor called them out, to use Conor's own words, when you go to fight with Conor, it's a celebration. But if every time Conor calls you out, you go, great, I'll do it. You now blend in. You blend into the 10 other guys that he called out in the last 2.5 months that all said the exact same thing. If Conor calls you out, you must offer something different. Like, how about letting him know that fight's never going to happen? You didn't mean it when you said it, whiskey fingers. You're drunk. Tomorrow, you're not even going to remember you said it. If we offered you a contract tonight, you would not sign it. You've done nothing but call people out, and you have not fought anybody. And I may not be a fisherman, but I'm not taking the bait, and don't use my name. Something along those lines as a way of getting the fight. pretending you don't want the fight as a way of getting the fight. I get it. Everybody wants the fight. But you will never stand out, and you will never stand up, and you will never be chosen if you're doing and saying the same thing that everybody else is doing and saying. You will not stand out from the pack. Conor's running some kind of a gimmick right now. I don't get it. I don't even like it. Where every time somebody wins, he goes on Twitter, compliments them, and then calls them out. It's not interesting, and it's not fun, and it's putting Conor in a tough situation. Conor coming back is going to be a big deal. He's going to do just fine. But he's not going to do as great as he's used to doing, because the element that he has always had, which is a personal animosity, now only stems to two guys. Khabib works. Nate Diaz works. Anybody else, he's got to start over from the bottom. The bottom for Conor is a very good place. It's a place many people will strive to be, but it is still significantly different. When he wants to come back to the table, particularly with the new model of MMA right now, it's not going to be the same thing that he was used to. And he's doing it to himself. He's aligning himself in a very odd spot by overcorrecting through social media. Right, he did a whole bunch of really bad actions. And he got his name tied to a whole bunch of really bad things. So he went to overcorrect by being a real gentleman and a sportsman on Twitter and picking everybody up and patting them on the back. It wasn't the world's worst angle. It just ran its course. So now you've got guys from all over that are responding to this in the same boring fashion, thinking, oh my goodness, I could be the one. Conor just said my name. Do you not follow the sport? He said somebody else's name a week ago and somebody else's the week before. He didn't fight any of them. By the way, he doesn't even have an active license. Are any of you even aware of that? He is not licensed in one single jurisdiction in the world right now. Why would you accept a fight or call? You need to call his bluff. Straight up. You don't mean it. We're not going to fight. Hush. Pipe down. The men have work to do. You need to find yourself a job.